Harry and Sandy Freitas live in Mountain View on a 50-acre parcel of land. What they want to do is subdivide it into approximately 6 lots so they can actually pass it on to their family, their children. This application actually brings up a larger conversation, which we think that the council is ready for. This application brings up issues of sustainability, supporting local families, talks about requiring urban infrastructure in rural settings, and the unintended consequence of a good law, meaning the concurrency law. Right now, the main issue with this application is the concurrency law, 25-2-46M under the Hawaii County Code. What the problem is because they're in agriculture, under subsection 2, the water department is saying that they have to comply with these 2 requirements: specific improvements to the existing public water system or a private water system equivalent to the requirements of the Department of Water Supply. This is a catch-22 for my clients, and the reason is that when I spoke to the water department with respect to the first part of that second subpart, specific improvements to the existing public water system, the public water system is on Highway 11 in terms of their property. It's quite a distance from their property, and we'll show you a diagram where their property is in relation to the highway. And the water department said that even if Harry and Sandy Freitas, their also known as name was Bill and Melinda Gates, and they had that kind of money and they could afford to connect it up to Highway 11, the water department said they wouldn't allow them to connect up to the Highway 11 water. So that brings us into the second part of subsection 2, or private water system equivalent to the requirements of the Department of Water Supply. Their requirements are that Harry and Sandy Freitas would have to construct and install 2 100,000-gallon tanks in a property that's above theirs, which was actually on a neighbor's property, to facilitate which would allow the water department to approve this subdivision. It is a catch-22 because they could never, and no one could never, comply with those kinds of requirements. So this brings us to the concurrency law, although well-intended, has unfeasible standards. And those standards were recognized by the Planning Commission. In their communication to the council, they recognize this conflict. We had originally gone to the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission had a motion to approve this subdivision request. When we came back a month later, they voted to deny it because they got to follow the law. This is the law. The concurrency law is the law of the land. They're required to follow it. We understand that. But they were very emphatic about communicating to the council that, hey, maybe this is time to revisit the concurrency law as it applies to subdividing agricultural land.